out south. I experienced a lot, did a lot of things. It's a lot of peer pressure growing up in out south. But right now, you know, that was maybe about 10 years ago. So right now I'm currently living in DeKalb. I'm about to graduate in the spring. So, I mean, growing up in Chicago taught me a lot of things, you know, good and bad. So, and I just took those experiences and learned from them.
I'm Jason. I grew up on the west side of Chicago. So, grew up in the so-called hood, or the ghetto as you want to say, on the west side of Chicago. So, like everyone, I've seen everything, done a lot of things in my past. But I graduated high school, went off to college. Now I'm an exec for Nike right now. So.
Hello, my name is Kentrice Hill. I also grew up on the west side of Chicago, and it was really tough. I was part of the statistics of the non-successful people, along with being a part of the statistics with the successful one. Mentally, it's a struggle trying to survive, but it's doable. Living on the west side of Chicago, you hear about gangs, violence, theft, rape, anything, but you also hear it anywhere else.
What difficulties have you had growing up in Chicago?
I would say the most difficult part for me was going to school outside of the neighborhood. I was called different things. I was a nerd, a geek, smarty pants, different things like that. That was probably the most difficult part, was that transitioning from going to a prep school and then coming home from school and dealing with the kids in the neighborhood.
The obstacles that I faced growing up, it was very difficult for me. The youngest of 4 kids. I'm the only one that graduated from grammar school, went to high school, and the neighborhood that I grew up in, it was all off your reputation, because you got to deal with a lot of competition, people worrying about what you're wearing and how you look, who you're dating, what side of the west side you're from. So it's a lot that you have to deal with.
Growing up, I would say probably peer pressure. I think peer pressure is a major issue. So growing up in that type of environment, it affected me a lot, because growing up I didn't have like what other kids had. You know?
What advice do you have for the generations to come?
The advice that I have for the next upcoming generation is always have a mentality of being a leader and not a follower.
The advice I would give to the upcoming generation is to be yourself, to be original. Growing up in Chicago, like I said, it got the pros and the cons, but if you stay focused and you communicate with the right people, you can make it. If we made it sitting at this table growing up out south and out west like these two right here, I think anybody can make it.
Some advice for the upcoming generation, I would say, is for one, don't let the environment that you're growing up in be the excuse. We're not telling people saying that, hey, it was bad growing up there. Yeah, it was bad growing up there, but still be proud of where you grew up. Like all of us here, we're still proud of where we grew up. Now, at first, it starts at home, but if you're not getting that proper lessons learned at home, don't turn to the streets to get that. Yeah. Turn to a teacher or a coach or after school counselor. Look forward to being that first person to get out of high school, first person to go off to college. Now we can say that being a president or being anything that you want to be, it is actually possible now. We see that in today's society. So just staying focused and staying positive.